When the folks at Potomac Beads asked me if I'd like to check out their monthly bead subscription box, I said yes, please, and thank you. I've actually watched some of their videos on YouTube. They have some really great beading designs and instructions, and I'll let you look that up. But this is their monthly box. First of all, I absolutely love the box this comes in. I always get excited about the boxes, but this one is one of those magnetic boxes. So you know I will be using this for other things too. This does not get thrown away. And it's beautiful. Can you see that? It's just covered with this beautiful paper. It's just such a lovely presentation. And then you open it up and there's a nice welcome. And just a little bit of information about what's in the box. And I love that what we're getting here in this box is a collection. So it isn't a random assortment like the dollar bead box, which I also really enjoy getting. And then I've also gotten boxes that were a kit with pretty much just what you needed to make a specific project. This one's kind of in between. There are directions for a specific project and more, but I'll show you that in a moment. But this is themed. So this one is called Cerulean Calm, and there's some beautiful poetic words just to set the scene or paint the picture for you. There's a list of everything in there, and it's quite an extensive list. And they even marked that materials marked with asterisks can be used to create your own winter blues hoop earrings, which is right here. So you get those materials. There's also some writing. Cultivate your cleverness and cue crafty concepts with the Cerulean Calm subscription box. Great alliteration there, folks. It's just fun to read. It feels very welcoming and inspiring. There's also a link showing you more. Like if you go to the link for the December box, it will have a bunch of videos showing you ideas for using cabochons, several videos for using storm duos, for using another, I think, 4 videos showing you how to use the SO beads. I really appreciated that because sometimes I see these shaped beads and I have no idea what to do with them. So that's very helpful. So this is the pattern that comes that you can make. This one says pendant, but then there it says earrings. Maybe it's small pendant, large earrings. I'm not sure. I intend to make it, and I'll tell you more about that. But this uses the round duos. You get 2 colors and the 15-0 seed beads. So let's take a look at what's in here. Like I said, it is a collection. It's all beautiful, icy blue colors. The soft crunch of snow underfoot on a clear, star-filled night. The gentle lapping of waves on a white sand beach. Wherever hues of blue, cream, and turquoise take you, may you find inner peace with this Cerulean Calm subscription box. Isn't that beautiful? I just love it. So that just made me so happy. Painted a picture, so it's more than just beads. All right, this is gorgeous. I absolutely love the color flash here. The blue and kind of gold and purple. Yum. These are really cool. Pyramid beads. I keep seeing patterns for these. Like I look at the Bead and Button magazine and then I see patterns for these and I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do with those. So, but these are really just very cool. These are the round duos that you can use to make the pendant or earrings. These are SO beads, ES-O. So they've got like a little kind of a triangular shape here. It's almost like pinched, and then it's got the 2 holes on either side of that little hill that's pinched up. It's an interesting shape, and again, one of those that they had a list of projects that you could do with these beads. Pretty snowflake charm. Very nice. And I don't know why these are called Storm Duo, but it's like a little S feather shape, and they have 2 holes, hence the duo part of the name. I'm looking forward to playing with these because they're very graceful. A really pretty toggle. Just nice, kind of simple, but kind of elegant too. And these are interesting. These are glass, crystal Labrador Czech rings. So they're just 9mm glass rings. And they're really pretty. You know, at first they look like metal, and then you tilt and you can see that they have some depth. A flower filigree donut, quite beautiful. And I'm always looking for new pieces of filigree to do things with. Czech glass daggers are always fun. Blue swirl. This one is gorgeous. This is an 18mm cabochon. And it almost looks like a millefiori. It looks like a printed design back there, but it kind of makes me think of Murano glass, where they do all those pieces of canes that are cut and make all the flowers. Really pretty one to do some beading on. Number 8, seed beads, Miyuki, gilt lined opal, very wintry. Some Czech faceted rounds, 6mm white shimmer, shimmery indeed. This is making me chilly. It's like a wintry day, but in a good way. Cotton pearls. These are interesting. They have quite a texture on them, and like almost a gold sparkle. What's it called? Rich cream. Yeah, that's a good name. Pellet beads. Now here's one they didn't have videos on. I'm sure you can look it up. I'll look it up. What do you do with these? I don't know, but they are an interesting shape. I suppose just alternating them between some round beads would give you an interesting design, a pattern. Oh, and these are pretty. Itty bitty 15 O's, seafoam lined crystal. Yeah, wintry or beachy, really. Oh, and these are the other round duos for that pendant or earrings. All right, hey there, this is Future Sandy, just with a few things I didn't know about these beads when I first looked at them. I recorded that previous segment, and then I sat down and worked with these beads and realized I kind of didn't know what I was talking about in some of the spots. So one thing is I didn't really stop to think about the name of these beads. I should have. They're round duo mini beads. The reason they're called duos, and any really of the beads that are called duos, is because they have 2 holes, which I had never even heard of, a round bead with 2 holes. I'm just going to pop my needles through these holes so you can see them. There, so they are 2 parallel holes through the round bead. So that opens up a whole new world of possibilities, including the pattern that came with the bead box. Also, these SO beads, and this is how they are spelled. Here's something to think about when you're looking at 2-hole beads, is that looking at the side with the holes doesn't necessarily tell you what you're going to be looking at once you've used them in a project. So again, I'll pop my needles through. And now you can see what you have is very much like a super duo bead. It's a little bit rounder, wider, and actually a little bit more diamond shape, but very much like the super duos, they snap together nicely in designs. And also, these pellet beads are pretty cool. These are just 1-hole beads. They're not a duo. But if you put them together just themselves, they will nest together in an interesting pattern, like that. But they also will nest together really nicely with rounds, or experiment with other shapes, so they kind of snap together in this pattern. So just something to think about, to look at these from a different point of view. So the very first thing I made is this sweet little pendant. This is the pattern that comes with the bead box, and I really like this about this bead box because it's kind of halfway in between a kit and just a box of random things, or even just a box of themed things. So I like having a pattern that I could make using things from the kit, so I didn't have to go out and buy anything else. And if you look at this, I just chose the colors in the opposite order. I put the blues on the outside, or on the sides, and then the gray silver ones on the outside. And this is the same pattern, just done with a different color seed beads, done with gold seed beads in the same configuration of the blue and gray that I used. So I really liked having a pattern in here. They said these could be earrings or a pendant. I thought it was a little big for earrings, a little maybe small for a pendant, but it worked. I did change the way they did the loop. I like this better. They did 12 seed beads, 2 parallel loops. What I did was I did one loop that was 13 seed beads, and I went diagonally, and when you do the pattern you'll see what I mean. And then when I came back on the other diagonal, I did 6, went through the middle one and did 6. And I like this bail just a little bit better than the way they did it here. So that was one thing I did, and that was using those round duos. And you can see how having the 2 holes in these round beads just kind of opens up different possibilities. I'm sure you could adapt this design to just single hole round beads. The next thing I made were these sweet little Amanda earrings, and I will link to this. This is a pattern online, and this one is using the Storm Duos, which I really love. These are like these S shape, and they have 2 holes, and it's just this really beautiful, graceful shape. If you look up on their website or on YouTube, there are patterns using these. I didn't have enough in this bag to make a whole bigger project with them. But each of these earrings just uses 2, and they are framing a super duo. The pattern called for a different bead, which I didn't have, but this worked. I used the Storm Duos. I used a couple of briolettes from the Dollar Bead Box, and also some 3mm beads from the Dollar Bead Box. So it's nice to have just a stash of beads. That's one reason these bead subscription boxes are so nice. I'll link to all of these products and videos and tutorials down below in the description box and also at my blog post. Now this pattern uses the SO beads, those 2-hole beads. And you can see here, there's just 3 on each of these corners, the way they snap together. This is a bracelet tutorial by Beadaholique that I found online. And what I did was I just made 2 individual units, and then I put a jump ring through one of the holes that wasn't used in the SO beads and made them into earrings. In addition to that, I needed some 3mm pearls, which I got from Dollar Bead Box, and some 11/0 seed beads, and these work up really quick. They're super cute earrings. And finally, I made another pair of earrings, and mostly earrings because you only get a small amount of beads in each bag, so there isn't enough to make like a bracelet or a necklace most of the time. But if you're looking for patterns for more of these beads, I looked up every single one of these in the list on YouTube and found patterns for cabochons, found patterns for the Storm Duos, the SOs, the pyramids, the pellets. The only one I really couldn't find any patterns for are these Czech glass rings. And it's not because there's anything wrong with the rings, it's because of the name. Because if you type Czech glass ring into a search engine, you're going to get a lot of seed beaded and such rings. I couldn't figure out quite how to search for this specific product. So if you have ideas for using these, I would love to know, because these are very cool and beautiful. But that's just a tip for you, that any of these, you can just type in the name into YouTube and type tutorial or project or beaded or Czech glass or something to go along with that, and you will likely find a lot of different things to choose from. So these are the pellet beads, and I thought this was a fun way of using them. These little purple beads in here are super duos, and these earrings also worked up really quick. I'll link to that. The video is in Spanish, but it doesn't matter. I don't speak Spanish. A few words I remember from Spanish 102 in high school. You really don't need it. You just follow what she's doing. It's a pretty simple pattern. So these were fun. It was fun to get a few of all these different shapes and explore different designs with them.